baby.
What is up, you guys? Welcome to day 9. I have my tracking sheets in front of me. Coming to this day in a fresh week, what I would love to take you through is what I go through myself, and that is self-assessment. We have talked about this in previous series, but I kind of want to shed a fresh perspective on it, especially with this series and talking about knowing your worth. So really going through, and raise your hand if you're going through the Glow Up Challenge right now. By the way, the Glow Up Challenge is totally free. It's a PDF that I created because everybody wanted to be a part of it. And I said, okay, I'll just share my list of things that I'm doing. And I put it on a PDF and I put it on a website so it was super easy to access. I got asked by a ton of people. So many marketing people were like, wait, why aren't you asking for people's emails to this? I was like, no, the point is not to capture any leads or ask for anything. It's just for people to do it with me. Like there is no exterior factors. If you want to do it cool, I linked every single item that I use and what I'm loving. And then I track what I'm doing in my routine builder. So in my weekly routine builder, I do also, on the flip backside of it, and you don't have to have this, I'll take you through it. If you do want this, it is the routine insert. It's not this one, but it kind of looks like this. The inserts that we have at the Daily Grind that you can clip into your planner. So they just snap right in. And then what I like to do is I put a little divider. I'm going to show it to you. I'm going to show you what I have. It's really pretty. So in here, I have this every single week, and then I have these tabs, and one of them says habits. So what I like to do is I track weekly, I track yearly. So here you can see my year ahead. So I've gone through 1 and a bit months here, and it's my productivity. So I'm constantly tracking my trends, which I'm going to talk to you about today. And I'm constantly tracking my progress, how I'm feeling, and then I self-assess. So what I like to do is look at trends, and I'm completely going to explain that to you because I think it's super powerful. But this here on the screen, and if you're listening on the podcast, what I can do is just kind of like visually explain this to you. But basically what I've created is 5 habits, and then vertically in a graph, you can see where I dip in mood in certain points. Like it goes high, 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 and then it goes whoa, and then it goes back up. But that perfectly aligns vertically with where I'm missing a couple habits in that same spot. So it makes complete graphical sense. And there are trends that where there's holes in my habits, my mood dips. So right here, if you go straight up, there's some holes in those habits. So it's super interesting to see that when you're not consistent with the very easy to do, very easy not to do healthy habits in your day that you deem important, how much that can in the long term affect your mood, your sleep, your activity, all of the things in a day. So what I like to do is at the back of my weekly routine builder, I do this at the start of every week or at the end of a week. It just where it falls either on a Sunday evening or a Monday morning. And so what I love is going through which habits I'm sticking to and which ones are kind of falling short and why. So looking at this, I can clearly see that my meditation, for whatever reason, just doesn't seem to be happening. I did it once. And then my gua sha, which is random, but that's not happening. Getting outside seems to be kind of an issue, although we do have fall gloomy weather, but I still should be able to have a little bit of time outside. But it is interesting when you start tracking it. Hair serum, perfume, I'm missing those. Super random, but if it's part of my glow up, I mean, it affects reading, hasn't been happening. So these small things, and what I'm noticing is other than meditation, it seems like all of the things that are at the end of my day on my routine builder are kind of falling short. So in my self-assessment, and you can do the same with me, what habits are you sticking to and where are you falling short in your habits that matter to you? Where I'm sticking is daily water intake, supplements, my pre-workout collagen. I literally have my pre-workout in front of me. I kill it with the purple pre-workout. My Pilates, I'm doing it 5K steps. I actually upped it to 10K steps because I was doing so good with that. It's really just a matter of tracking it. My greens, I added that to my glow up list, by the way. So I took off one that was kind of random. Being creative every single day. I took that off because it wasn't really part of the glow up, and I added greens. So looking at where I've been consistent, where I haven't, what's going well, and where can I improve? Well, what's going well is my morning is going well. And by the way, answer this for yourself in the comments or on the live chat as you're on here. What's going well? Where can you improve? And then based off of the trends and assessment of this week, any ideas for next week? Well, my idea would be clearly my meditation isn't happening. It's super important to me. So maybe I do that before my workout. Like I do it first because that seems to work. If it's done first in the day, and I can have just a block of time. Maybe I get up an hour earlier, and that block of time is really me time where I dedicate that to myself. And then any thoughts on this week's goals, habits, and routines. So yeah, I mean, literally looking at where I fall off at the end of the day, moving some of these items, the ones that are the most important to me, to the top of my list, and then doubling down on what's going really well and making the time for that. So now that I've just assessed by just a little bit, so that one concept of, okay, maybe the meditation happens pre-workout because that's seeming to fall off, or just getting up an hour early so that I don't feel rushed at the end of my workout. Because I think that's what's happening. If I'm really taking this whole 60 seconds to self-assess my routine builder, I really think that it's because I feel rushed during my workouts. I'm doing a 20-minute workout at most, and then I'm piecing out the door because I have stuff to do and just meetings and launches and whatnot. If I can just give myself a little bit more time in the basement during my workout to not feel rushed out of it, to do a stretch and then a 5-minute meditation, I think that's a lot better. So I really think that the secret is just get up a little bit earlier and have that alone time where we eliminate the distractions like we talked about yesterday, getting rid of the phone, not bringing it downstairs with me, and really seeing if that works. So this isn't a huge shift, right? It's a tiny little thing. It's 10 millimeters. So that's what I want you to wrap your head around is what tiny 10 millimeter shift can you head into this next week with that if it compounded, let's say next week you do another tiny little 10 millimeter shift, imagine how much that compounds over time. So you taking this you time every single day to fill your cup. If you've ever done the Dream Life Blueprint, you know, I'm going like this because I have it right in front of me. That is something that working through that myself and understanding the things that made me tick, that made me happy, workbook, that's really what made the biggest difference, was understanding that, yes, my cup is filled by personal time with me. Alone time in the morning fills my cup. So go through, self-assess these little 1 to 10 tiny little shifts, and figure out what you're going to go into this next week with. And then we are going to crush it headed into the next phase of this entire series. So I want to make sure that I've gone through all of these notes for you. And then one final note, I want you guys to know that I truly am like caught up to this. So I am on with you guys live every single day. I'm watching the comments, I'm reading your replies and what you guys are saying. And if you've had days that have been emotional and you've had breakthroughs, I also want you to self-assess that today. So drop in the comments, write in your notes, not only that little tiny shift that you're going to make, but what have been some major aha moments that you've seen in the last 8, we'll call it 9 days since today is day 9, but where have you had epiphanies? Where have you shed some tears? I shed tears on live with you guys that day that you talked about the labels that people have placed on you. I couldn't believe how powerful that was just to do that as a group and how long some of us have carried that with us. And to see you guys release that was wild and so emotional and so powerful. And I loved every second of it. So keep going with all the things. I freaking love you guys. Make sure that you check in, make sure you self-assess, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, dudes.